you try to be pleasant and civil, even if you're being attacked inappropriately and unfairly.
Well, and here's a question related to that from our audience. So I'll give this to you, Senator Shaheen. This person says, not only must debate be civil, it must be accurate, or you lose your credibility. Agree? Agree, question mark. And then the second part, if so, why are so many politicians so loose with the facts?
Well, as Judd says, I've always tried to be civil, and I've tried not to get personal but I think somebody's record is fair game. And we see negative attack ads because they work, frankly. And unfortunately, sometimes if there is not a robust press corps who has the ability to check the facts, it's very hard to get a message out if your opponent mischaracterizes what your record has been or what your positions are on issues. So it really, our system of democracy relies on a strong two-party system, but it also relies on a very strong press corps. And one of the things that's happening sadly in this country right now is we're losing a lot of that independent press corps with newspapers that have been under assault because they can't compete with the electronic media, with radio stations that are no longer local. They're bought up by national chains. And so that's, I think, a real challenge as we look at the future.
Right. So everyone runs negative ads. Maybe you don't want to call them attack ads. So, Senator Gregg, if you want to have civility, and I hear both of you feeling committed to civil dialogue, and yet you're being attacked and attacked and attacked, do you take the high road even if you lose, or what do you do?
Oh, no. Your basic goal is to respond. And if they're inaccurately presenting your position, you present it accurately and then take it to the next level, which is to present their position, hopefully accurately, but also in juxtaposition to yours, showing the difference and why your position is a better one, and hopefully people will vote for you. That doesn't require you to be obnoxious or over the top or vicious. It just requires a concise, and we always, in my campaigns, we always tried to do it with humor, actually, because I always thought it was more effective if you could cast your opponent's view when he was or she was attacking you inappropriately with some humorous response that made the point you wanted to make while moving on to the point you were trying to score points against that candidate with. But you can also do it with very aggressive ads. And there's nothing wrong with aggressive ads as long as they're factually accurate and they don't personalize in a way that's inappropriate. But aggressive ads are critical, as Jeanne said. That people react.
Some of the most aggressive ads that we've seen in recent years, and I have noticed an increase, and I know you have too, is not even from candidates like you, but outside groups ranging from the Sierra Club to the National Rifle Association. What's the role, Senator Shaheen, of these types of groups in kind of ratcheting up the rhetoric so that they can not only get their candidate elected, but also, raise money? The fundraising letters that you get are sometimes kind of over the top.
Well, they are, and that is another challenge, I think, that we have. The recent Supreme Court decision in Citizens United raises another specter for that we should be concerned about because it opens the door for corporate contributions in a way that we haven't seen in the past. And there is some legislation that would respond to that would say that if you're the NRA or the Chamber of Commerce or the Sierra Club and you're doing an ad in a state, that you have to abide by the same requirements that the candidates do, so that you have to have paid for by at a certain size logo on the ad, and you have to have the picture of the CEO of that organization. And the idea is that if the CEO from some of those organizations has to have their name and their picture on the ad, that they might be a little more careful about making sure that what's in it is accurate.
Wow. That's an interesting development.
Now, that's legislation that hasn't been passed yet, but it's been proposed.
What do you think, Senator Gregg? What role broadly do these interest groups play in increasing the coarsening of our civic dialogue that some people see?
Well, very significant. And one of the problems is that most of these groups, you actually don't know who's funding them under the rules. We have to disclose everything. But these groups, these 527s, disclose virtually nothing about where the money comes from, how it's spent, who they hire. And it really is an unfortunate recent evolution of our political system. However, on the other side of the coin, we do have the First Amendment, which is key to our capacity to have a free society. So freedom of speech is absolutely essential. And as the Supreme Court has rightly noted, freedom of speech in our society requires the ability to spend money to do speech, which is essentially why they allowing corporations now to participate in the process, just the way labor unions have for years been able to participate in the process. So it's difficult to rein in these groups. I would like to see more disclosure from these groups, not only on their ads, but actually disclosure as to where they get their money and who they're hiring, and just the way we would have to do it as a candidate. I think that would be healthy if that happened.
It's interesting.